Hey, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
There he is. He's got his nose holes uncovered. It is Kenn Kington. Nice.
Better cover that thing.
Hey, it's been a while. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and it has been. I mean, I don't think we've talked since Christmas or the election or the inauguration or anything. Politics.
Yeah. There was an election?
It's been a while.
There was an election?
Yeah, there was a second election after the first election, and then there was a lot of politics.
The first election wasn't good enough, so we needed a second election, and who knows?
Yeah, the donkey or the elephant saw a shadow, so we had a 6 more weeks of political commercials, and then another election.
Yeah,
that's very funny, Ken. Yeah, we missed the political commercials, don't we, Dan?
Yeah, oh golly, don't get me started.
I actually had I actually figured out how to vote and how to evaluate the best candidate. Whoever had the fewest commercials, that's who I voted for.
That's a good way to do it.
And so, I know your listeners are diverse and probably lean more one way than the other. But with the inauguration just happened, if your guy won, congratulations. And if your guy didn't win, welcome to the first day of the end of the world. So whichever camp you fall into there, yeah.
Isn't
it's so extreme. So extreme.
That's funny. Well,
Ken, since the last time we talked to you, you have a son who got engaged.
Oh,
yes.
That is so exciting.
Oldest. And he was so cool to let us be a part of the picking out the ring process. And we had a big party. It was a socially distanced gathering in a backyard after they got engaged.
And your nose hole was covered.
And all the nose holes were covered. So, but it was just so sweet and so cool. And she's an absolute doll. And we know her parents from when we helped plant a little church. They were there as well. So Graham and his fiance actually met in preschool and did not remember anything about each other until they met at Georgia again. But it's just really cool. Love the in-laws. It's just a wonderful time. And yeah, so I think it's next December. She's getting her master's degree and he's getting established now that he's graduated. So next December we're gonna have a wedding.
That's awesome. Now, how's Heather holding up? Did she cry much?
No, didn't cry. She was super excited, and her standard for a daughter-in-law was pretty specific, pretty intense, but pretty simple. And that was that the girl had to love her. So other than that, it was pretty much wide open. So Graham did well.
That's good.
The girl had to love Heather.
Heather, yes. Yeah. And who doesn't? So
exactly, everybody loves Heather. Come on.
So she could be a mass murderer, but if she loves Heather, it's all good, right?
That's all you need. That's all I'm saying.
All right, real quick, we need to do a little technical stuff here. Rick, if you could turn your mic down a little bit, you're really kind of hot.
I
mean, not to get you hot and bothered or anything, but you're kind of hot.
That's what happens when you're 60. See, you get loud and then you get soft, and then
I can't hear you.
Yeah, if you guys took clips from this show of I have to adjust my set. Yeah, you're hot. It's not good. It's not PG.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's catch up with you about the book. I know the last time that we talked, I think it had just been released. Every day is a bonus. Enjoying the 3 greatest gifts of life. How's that been going, and what have you heard about the book?
Well, I actually read it since I wrote it, so I've heard it really good. Actually, the comments, and I actually love it because it's what I really wanted it to be, and that was, wow, I couldn't put it down. It was one of the quickest and most enjoyable, practical, challenging, encouraging books, and those are the words that keep coming out, and I'm like, that's it. That was my hope. So I keep sending some out to different places, and it's growing. It's still available on Amazon, download or a printed copy, and it's going really, really well. And I'm loving the impact that it's having. It's a super easy read, and it's incredibly practical and encouraging and validating and everything I'd hoped it would be.
We Dan and I want to know, are there pictures? Because that kind of helps us out.
Is it a pop-up book? I love those.
Yes, there are pop-up features to it. You have to tear the page out and do some origami with it. So yeah, it's the easiest book without pictures to read.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Dan had mentioned that you have some, let me see if I get it right. Help me, Dan.
Well, you said there was a theme of disappoint, discouraged,
Yeah.
and not getting prayers answered.
Yeah, yeah.
Stories about that.
Let's hear about it.
Yeah, so that's the encouraging part when I just think right now, whether it's COVID, whether it's politics, whether it's quarantining, I think everybody I meet is either frustrated or depressed or just like, man, this has not turned out the way I thought it was going to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm praying specifically for this and it didn't happen. And I really think God was going to do this and he didn't. And how do I deal with that? And it really took me back. And I was actually praying that the other day because I just got back from an event where I filmed a set for a group and it went great and I really enjoyed it. But I think with all the uncertainty, I've had another 3-4 months just completely cancel, and it's been a year now. So I've lost 90% of what I normally do, and it can be discouraging. I mean, and I'm the most optimistic person I know. And so I was praying even this morning. I'm like, Lord, okay, so you say to ask boldly and trust completely. And I love the ask boldly part because I can just say, God, this is what I think, and here's evil and here's good. And I know you're going to just stand up for good. And then it doesn't happen. It's like, so now I got to trust.
Yeah.
And, that's the hard part. So what God did was he brought me back mentally to a time when my boys were really small. And I don't know if I've shared this years ago or not, but one night in the middle of the night, I heard upstairs, it was just Graham and Cody. Kennedy wasn't here yet. And I heard my second son, Cody, yelling, just, Dad, Dad, Dad. And I thought he was sick or hurt or nightmare or something. So I run upstairs and he was probably 3, maybe 4 at the time. And so I walk into his room and he's standing on his bed. And I'm like, buddy, what do you need? He's like, Dad. I'm like, buddy, are you okay? And he's like, Dad. And it was like he had been awake rehearsing this because he stood there, put his hands on his hips and very methodically said, Dad, I want chocolate milk now, please. And he put his hands out like, see, I got it. I got all the words. And I was like, buddy, it's night. It was 3 a.m. And I'm like, buddy, it's night time. And he's like, and he looked at me weird, like, apparently you didn't hear me. And so he noticed he's standing up and he drops to his knees on his bed because you're not supposed to stand on the bed. And he goes, Daddy, I want chocolate milk now, please. and he's smiling ear to ear. And I was like, buddy, it's night time. And the look on his face was like, what part of this do you not understand? You're an adult. You should get this. I'm saying all the right words, all the right way. And I'm like, buddy, I will get you chocolate milk in the morning, but it's time to go to bed, buddy. So I lay him down, I tuck him in, and he just looks up with this stunning little sheepish smile. And he went, chocolate milk, please? And I was like, no, buddy, not right now, but we'll do it in the morning. And he just rolls over and with this smile just goes, okay, Daddy. And he just went back to sleep. And as I was walking down the stairs going, Lord, that just makes me laugh. And it was like God spoke very clearly in my heart. He's like, Ken, that's how I want you to ask. I want you to ask for whatever you want, whenever you want it. But just like you're only going to give what's best when it's best, I'm going to do the same. But I don't mind you asking me, and I don't sleep, so ask me anytime. And it's given me a perspective today that I really needed, going, okay, Lord, I'm all in. I trust you. And thanks for letting me not ask correctly or at the right time. And you don't find fault in that. You love me anyway. So it's been a cool revelation towards that. So are you guys disappointed or frustrated about anything?
Yeah. I didn't get my chop of milk, so I want some.
Well, obviously we're not we're not using please in the right.
I didn't say please.
Please.
That's right. You got to go up on that. It's got to be a please.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think I mean, I can't speak for Dan. I think, well, we've all learned quite a bit, and we've all had to adjust. That sounds a little cliche, right? We've all had to adjust. But I think, we've grown through it, and just, looking forward to, what's next. I know it's not going to be normal. We don't have a, new normal is overused, but I don't know that, we'll just we'll do what we've done before. We'll just rely on his faithfulness. And I love what you just said, because, who hasn't felt that way? It's like, wait a minute, I've prayed all the right things. I'm living as godly as I know how. I mean, I'm not perfect.
Right.
And then I think in my head, or in sometimes our heads, it becomes a formula, and maybe we don't realize it, or we don't want to admit to it. But if I do this and I'm doing that, then it says here that it equals this.
Right.
That's not a relationship, is it? That doesn't work with marriage. I know that.
Yeah.
You tried that? Did it?
Oh, many times.
Well,
the equations keep changing in marriage. You can't.
Yes. 2 + X = penguin. I got nothing here at all. Well, I can say this too, as I've kind of gone through it. I was in Romans and 1 Corinthians this morning. It just says, present your body a living sacrifice, and go, you know what? Okay, Lord, I'm here. And it says, don't be conformed to this world. Well, man, if there's one thing, I think the world is just overwhelming everybody right now. And we're going, okay. And then I came across a reference, and I always write when something catches my eye. It reminds me of another verse. I put it down, and I had it written out next to transformed. And I look back, and I got to set it up because it's a really cool verse, because I think most people in America today would go, what we're going through stinks. Mm-hmm. It just stinks. And I love this particular verse. And the best way I can set it up is this. I was in New Orleans for the Final Four a few years ago. I was performing at the coaches convention, and we're walking down the street. And I don't know if you guys have been to New Orleans or not. It is one of the most diverse, unique places on the planet.
Yes, it is.
And I'm walking down the street, and it's the most diverse. We're walking, and it's literally, and I know this is really gross, but it smelled like a horse had just pooped.
Yep.
And then somebody had lit it on fire, and then somebody tried to pee on it to put it out. And it was just one of the most
graphic way of putting it, but that's true.
It's one of the most disgusting smells I've ever smelled.
Yeah.
And then I walked 3 feet, maybe 5 feet later, and one of the cafes, the aroma hit me, and it was one of the most amazing, incredible smells. Like, I have to go in there and buy one of whatever it is you're cooking. It was just so amazing.
Yeah.
And I believe in our time where the whole world kind of stinks right now. I think it's 2 Corinthians 2:15, where it just says, you are the aroma of Christ.
That's good.
And I'm like, wow. We're never going to be more obvious than we are right now. And it's not really what we do. It's not how spiritual we sound. It's, man, do I have Christ emanating from me with my attitude, and not being conformed to this world, but be transformed by my mind, and just go, you know what? Okay, Daddy, this is where we are. Yep. I want some chocolate milk, but I'm going to I'm going to find joy in the midst of it all because Christ is in me and with me. And that is enough. I want to be that aroma.
That's so good.
We need to pass the collection plate right now. Pastor Ken, thank you so much for your wonderful message. That's so good and so timely for us right now.
Yeah, while you were talking, it's amazing. I was thinking about your kids. Have they been able to kind of roll with the punches? Because it seems to me, at least in my household, it's usually the adults that stress out about what's going on, and the kids are just like, oh, okay, well, we'll just kind of go with it. I was just kind of curious to see how the kids are with this whole thing.
Well, my whole family is actually doing really well. I'm so proud of Graham. We were talking off air how Dan went by the diner. Here's a kid who graduated from college, had spent 2 years developing a network, and he was set to just take off, working in the festival and the music industry, and had an in at an agency that was like, we want to hire you as soon as you're done. And all of that fell apart because of COVID.
Yeah.
And to see his attitude, just like, you know what? I've got a job at the diner. I love waiting tables. I love people. He works 5 doubles a week and he's killing it. And he's a bright spot. And he's got so many regulars that come in and just ask for him because they're like, oh my gosh, I need a ray of sunshine. And I'm like, he is that aroma to those people. And Cody's flying again. So he's back on track. They're open. So he's having a great time. And Kennedy and Doc, Kennedy's involved in a bunch, and she's working and playing soccer. So they're kind of just rolling with it. The funny one to me is Doc and Heather. Doc, he's really enjoying being live at school, but they just went virtual again. Yeah. And I thought, man, what's that going to do to him? He's like, man, I mean, I love being there live, but I can't wait to just be at home and go to school in my pajamas for a week or two. And I'm like, okay.
Look at it.
Yeah. And then Heather's she's like, because teachers, they have to teach live and virtual at the same time. And she's
wow.
I'm ready to just have a week or two where I just get to do one.
Yeah.
So they're doing incredibly well.
That's good.
Yeah.
That would be stressful as a teacher, having to do too. I know with Jake, who's still having therapy, his have all been virtual, but they are doing it there in over in Hamilton Mill. So, they've got to juggle both. One will be there, and then they've got to go on, and then they got to make sure that the kid's going to be on time on the other end. So it's always kind of a juggling act.
Yeah.
With these guys.
If nothing else, we're all learning to go with the flow, and also just to really, hopefully we're all learning, to trust in God and not trust in government or ourselves or people around us. That the only thing that is rock solid is Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see a awakening of hunger and seeking in it all. And one of the ways it manifests itself is frustration and anger. I mean, people are just on edge. And then, I mean, we were walking into a restaurant the other night, and this lady's walking out, and she just yells at us. She's just like, well, go in there if you want to die from COVID. And I was like, okay, have a nice evening. I mean, I didn't know this woman, and it's just like, I'm sorry I don't know what happened, but sorry.
Did somebody not have their nose hole covered? Was that the problem?
Apparently not. They had a nose hole issue that night. So
either that or she had a bad burrito.
Yeah.
Not sure what's going on there.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think with and I don't know if y'all have seen, we watched a special called Social Dilemma, and it just has a really clear algorithms are really telling people, hey, if people don't agree with everything you agree with, they hate you and you should hate them. And it's poisonous. And I think it's James 1 where it says, don't be polluted by the world.
Yeah.
And it's easy with social media to get polluted. So I've cut way back on all of that. I've gotten rid of Twitter and not doing a lot on Facebook, and just saying, you know what? And I told my friends, hey, here's my phone number. Here's my call me, text me, email me, but let's talk directly, because this other stuff's not working.
Yeah.
So good. Kenn Kington,
Radio show sometime. Just, let's
Jump
talk.
on. Yeah.
Everybody else listen.
Yeah.
That way we can say whatever we want and nobody disagrees with us, or at least we don't know it. So,
Exactly.
Kenn Kington on with us, kennkington.com, I think, if I remember correctly, the website.
Right there. It says so right there.
I haven't said it in so long. It's hard to remember. 2 N's, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got to go to a break in a second, but you had mentioned just about the traveling and stuff. Do you have anything coming up, or what's going on?
I did, and it all canceled for the next 3 months. So thanks for bringing that up, Rick. I was good. Tell that. No, I'm going to just take the next couple weeks and see what is the new normal. And I really am very seriously considering about putting together a couple regional based, socially distanced, but come live and wear a mask, sit down, socially distance, take it off, and just enjoy an evening. So we're working on that.
Good. Can't wait. And I'll stand outside and say, go in there if you want to die of COVID.
Well, you can have a sign outside that says nose holes optional. There you go.
Nose hole and adjust your set.
We're here to help, Ken.
That's it.
Yeah. Hey, since we got to get back with you more often. We miss you. We miss you a bunch.
Yeah, we miss these times.
Get together like the 1st of February, and I'll have a plan by then, and we can have the Faith Talk Live, Kenn Kington comedy night, socially distanced, nose hole covered.
That would be awesome.
And we'll serve bad burritos. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.